Hold on, I need to mute myself so I don't drive myself absolutely bonkers. All right.
I can't mute myself to go live.
I know, yeah, we are.
There you go.
There we are.
I'm a mess. Hello.
Okay, get all of this set up so I can see the chat and everything, and we'll be good. Oh, why is my computer so annoying?
We're gonna wait.
Anyways, all right, so welcome to everyone who is currently watching what is the name of our book club? The Demigods Anonymous live show for Mark of Athena, which, if you haven't been following my Twitter, you would now know is my favorite book ever in all the world. This is my favorite book of all time. Guess what my second favorite book of all time is?
I don't know, something Batman.
Nope. Still Rick Riordan. Lindsay's like, there's like 14 Rick Riordan books. My second favorite Rick Riordan book of all time, our favorite book of all time, is House of Hades. So.
Really? I just have to strongly, if I could rap, I would do a rap battle with you, because I don't understand how you can like this series better than the Percy Jackson series. Like,
Thank you.
There is no way. And if you watched my mid-year freakout tag that went up today, I literally talked about how much Magnus Chase was so good and how, like, it restored my belief that, like, Rick Riordan still writes good books going forth after the Percy Jackson series, because it's an incredible series and this one just isn't.
Oh.
I just don't.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but
I just don't think he writes the person well.
And always, we discussed this before, Kira, I am always in it for the romance. And so I get 2 freaking books with my OTP being absolute badasses. Yes.
But how do you like every book then? Because, like, pretty much every book in the history of the universe has romance in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a lot of books with romance if I like the romance. But, like, this is an entire, like, the next book is, and that's why it's so hard. Because this has my favorite moments in it. But the next book also has some really great moments in it.
I agree.
And they're all such good ones. So, anyways, now that we have, I have more stories, but I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves real quick while I get this up on Twitter. So,
I already posted.
You already what?
I already posted it on Twitter because I'm a Rick shooter. I am Kira the Scrivener, which is weird to say still. And formerly Min Kobayashi, and I talk about fantasy, science fiction, and classics, and poetry, and pretty much everything too much, and probably Percy Jackson not enough.
I agree with that statement. Real quick, Kier, did you post it on the Read DA Twitter, or did you post it on the
my own?
Okay, cool.
Why just
keep
join
going.
us? Marks.
Tell everyone how you don't talk about Percy Jackson enough.
I really don't. I don't do a lot of. I have so many favorite books that I just don't mention all the time because I don't know why.
See, I only talk about Percy Jackson, and I don't talk about my other favorite series.
I have so many favorites that, like, Percy Jackson is up there. It's just normally, like, I'm talking about what I'm reading at the same time. And because I've loved Percy Jackson for, like, 8 years now, like, a lot of my feelings over it are, like, processed, so I don't need to, like, yell at the screen about it a lot.
And you gave me crap for deciding that I had another series to add to my favorite series list.
Oh, I was just totally being annoying because I know that you make fun of me all the time for not talking about Percy Jackson enough, and I was like, and you have a favorite one? Who's a hypocrite? That was the intention of that.
Okay, Kinsey, your turn. Introduce yourself.
I'm Kenzie over at Kenzie Lee T. I only talk about Percy Jackson, opposite of Kier, and I also do a lot of Funko Pops and do-it-yourself Funko Pops. That was just a broad. And yeah, that's it.
That's it? That's all we get from you?
Yeah, I don't know. Percy Jackson is the love of my life. That's really all you need to know.
Oh, yeah, I knew that one. All right, so let's start this off. I wanted to ask you guys, because I've been annotating, obviously. Am I the only one who has not finished the book?
I skimmed the whole book, so I didn't read a lot.
All right. Oh, speaking of which, thank you to everyone that was like cool with us rescheduling. Everybody's fine if anyone's wondering about that. Everything is good. But anyways, so I just would like to know what's one moment, it doesn't have to be a big one, that made you laugh. For example, for me, it was when they come to the Rock of Gibraltar. I just read this, so it's fresh on my mind. And Percy comes out wearing pajama bottoms, no shirt, and a breastplate. I just was like, he's wearing armor, but no shirt. That doesn't sound comfortable, but it also is such a Percy thing to do.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
It is really.
That is my man. And
I love him.
What do you guys have any moments that made you laugh?
My favorite moment always is in like the beginning. With Percy and Annabeth, that moment, just like not the reunion. When they're oh my gosh.
When they're on the ship in the stable?
Yep.
Kira's just sitting here going, I don't understand you at all.
Like, and I'm a huge Persephone literally shipper. It didn't get me in the feels at all.
Just any moment
and I was like,
book is my favorite.
This one?
Yeah.
This was such a funny moment. And I'm keeping a tally of how many times Jason has been knocked out. We're up to 3 at this point between 2 books.
Jason is literally like the damsel in distress. Like he is like in the classics when all the girls just are so overcome with emotions. Like I feel like Rick Riordan just put that into Jason's character, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's funny. All right, so who wants to hear my fun Mark of Athena story?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so I've been promising people this. So we finished Son of Neptune. It was the worst moment of my life to date at that point in my life. I was so mad because I had been denied my reunion. And so I spent the next year just waiting for this book to come out. I didn't even read the first couple of chapters when they were released online because I knew it would just make me mad. Although the moment I wanted was in the second chapter, so maybe I was dumb. Anyways, hold on, my phone's doing weird things. So I'm at work when this comes out. We're about 10 minutes from Target. I have a 30-minute lunch break. And I wasn't going to do this, but I also had a friend who was into the series and was waiting for this, and we started talking about it, and the more we talked about it, the more I was like, I can't not have this book. I need it in my possession. So I took my break at like 9 a.m., which was like 5 minutes after Target opens. Rushed to Target while eating my lunch in the car. My shift starts at 5, by the way. So like lunch is like 9 a.m. for me. Rushed back, and I got back in time to sit down and read. And so I read the first 2 chapters. We get to the part where Annabeth judo flips Percy over her shoulder and threatens him for leaving her. And I was fine. I was like, all right, I can do the rest of the day. I'm going to be fine. Like, everything was good. And I put the book down. I didn't need to pick it up again until I got off work. But yeah, I spent my entire lunch break going to get this book. I literally took it out of the guy's hands as he was putting it on the shelf.
I literally was at an event and went and hid in the washroom and just read till I could find Nico D'Angelo.
Which means you read until like the very end?
I remember sitting on the cold floor of the washroom, my breath being taken away and me crying when the angel's breath line was said.
Oh yeah, because everyone knew it. I don't understand why it took them so long to figure out the freaking prophecy. Angel's breath, you dumb butts.
Angel.
So, all right, Kier, what's a moment that made you laugh in this book?
Hey, Leo, it's got to be great.
That moment. I love it.
Like, I love Leo. He is the part that does not. What?
I'm actually making a Funko Pop based off of Team Leo.
Oh, yes! All right, what were you saying, Kier?
It's just wonderful. Like, I have my complaints against this series. I don't know. Percy and Annabeth just don't seem necessarily like how I think they act. They seem a little bit uncanny to me. I don't know. But Leo is amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're perfectly in like it was really nice to finally get Annabeth's thoughts on their whole relationship, but I'll get into that later. Okay, so I have a question. Were there any moments that really stood out to you as one that you didn't necessarily like?
I didn't like all of Percy's jealousness at Jason. It just made me want to punch something.
I agree.
I don't think he would act that way. Like, it did not.
I don't know. Yeah. I actually have that down to talk about later, actually, a little bit about Percy and, like, we'll get there. So, Kenzie.
I don't even know why. I think it's just because I, like, personally hate love triangles. So literally any moment with Frank, Hazel, and Leo stresses me the crap out. Like, I think when this book first came out, I actually didn't finish it all the way because the little, like, love triangle going on between them was stressing me out so much that I had to, like, it was like right before House of Hades came out that I was like, crap, I gotta finish Mark of Athena. So I read it all again.
YA literature.
Huh?
My question is, how do you read YA literature?
I have avoided love triangles. If I start a book that has a love triangle in it, I literally just don't finish it.
See, I'm good if the love triangle serves a purpose, and I don't want to get into spoilers, but I like how this one kind of plays out. But oh my gosh, love triangles drive me nuts because most of the time they are just there to cause drama and keep two people apart for ridiculous reasons. I think it's not necessarily a specific moment, but I was not comfortable with how much people were picking on Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that bugged me. I was like, why couldn't it have been everyone's pants, Leo? Why just Frank's? Like, he didn't deserve that. He's a sweetheart, and he did not deserve that.
Also, I just want Leo and Frank to be best friends because they seem like they should be best friends. And why are they just fighting over this girl who already is taken by Frank, and it's so unnecessary? And Leo, you don't need a girl to make you happy.
Yeah. All right. We're going to finish the moments trifecta, and you guys can try and guess what my favorite moment would be. But what was your favorite moment in the book? I think Kinsey kind of already said hers.
Yeah.
Stables.
I mean, I feel like it would be off-brand for it not to be the reunion. So, like, I feel like...
Alright. I do have two favorite moments. It's not the reunion, though.
Wow. Okay, you know what? We can't be friends anymore.
It comes into the cabin and tells him, you drool in the...
Nope. Those are all very high up there. No, actually. Because I was literally just rereading it. Because I reread the very end before I was like, I at least need to reread the very end. I'm very glad I did because there's some stuff I wanted to discuss about Annabeth being stupid. Child. But my favorite moment is when it's after Arachne and Percy gets down to Annabeth. It's the second reunion in the book. And he says, it's okay. We're together. like just the fact that like he's like we're together and it's okay. Like that for me was such a good moment.
The best is then her comment after saying like how, you know, she loves him because he didn't say, "Oh, we're alive, like you're okay." It was just the fact that they're together and that makes everything better because they can do anything together. It's fine.
He didn't say, "You're okay," or "We're alive." After all they'd been through over the last year, he knew the most important thing was that they were together. She loved him for saying that. It might also be when they fall together into Tartarus, because like that was such a good ending. Could have ended the book right there, and I would have been happy.
No, I agree. I was actually just rereading the end, and I was like, I feel like adding that one last chapter was just kind of a waste. Like, I feel like it would have. I think that the last chapter in here would have been a great introduction
to House of Hades.
Yeah, to the next book. Like, I think that them falling is a good ending.
Yeah. All right, Kier, did you have a favorite moment in this book? Can you pick one, or do you just hate it in general?
I don't hate this book. It's just, it's not the story I want it to be.
Oh, see, it ended up being exactly the story I wanted. So
I just, whenever I read this, it's not that it's like badly written. I just am overcome with the idea that I kind of wish Rick had just left it at Last Olympian.
Okay, I'm booking a flight to Canada. I gotta go straighten you out.
I love Percy's cameos in Hidden. I can hear myself. It's really weird. In Hidden Oracle and in Magnus Chase, he's in both of them, and I like him in there. But like, I don't know. But I do really like the moment they fall into Tartarus. It did make me teary-eyed. It was the only part, like, the part that really like engaged me at all.
Yeah, like I love that moment because. Oop, go ahead.
It wasn't well written enough that reading it for a second time did I enjoy it. Like, I feel like I didn't know all the plot points. It might have been better, but I just thought that it wasn't that amazing of a book, and I already knew exactly what was going to happen. And it's just all over the place, too. Like, he doesn't do a great job in this series of bringing everything together, I don't find. And so unnecessary jealousy. I
definitely think that there are some threads that are dropped, especially come Blood of Olympus. I think he maybe reached it a little too far, had a little bit too much. There are some things I've been taking notes on. I'm like, I want to see if this carries through. Now, here's one thing that I find very interesting about you pointing out Percy's jealousy, because I really enjoyed how he explores Percy's insecurity, and I think that insecurity has a lot to do with stuff that happened in the last book, specifically Percy drowning.
I think I did like that aspect of it, but the jealousy, that wasn't necessarily connected.
I kind of agree with Kier. Like, I think that when it comes to this series, like, I'm not gonna say I was largely disappointed. But I do think that, like, there are a lot of things like that Rick introduces aren't necessarily like either needed or like wrapped up. And I think that Percy's jealousy, like, I think that introducing such like this big fear that Percy now has, that is literally going to go from Son of Neptune to the Blood of Olympus. Like, it's mentioned. The fact that you introduce that big fear and then you're gonna include this little jealousy, it's kind of like, but like, we don't really care about the jealousy right now. We're more interested in this fact that Percy doesn't want to go underwater.
Yeah, I do agree. I think that was a really interesting thing to have be something that came out of Son of Neptune, to have the son of the sea god be afraid of drowning. Like,
I think that
Kier, you froze.
did with the book from my memory. I've
What?
been freezing like 30 seconds. I think that he could have done a really good job of exploring the mental health aspects of like panic attacks and anxiety and that, but I just felt like he did a great job of doing that from my memory.
No, I don't think he did. I think it's an interesting thing, and I think it leaves a lot of fodder for people who want to do fanfic. But I think because, like, I think if this had been a young adult series, he might have been able to explore it and had the time. I think he just didn't have the time because he's trying to weave 7 different plots over 5 books. And I think that definitely does come to bite him.
I also think you have to look at the time period. I mean, when this series came out, that wasn't really a big thing.
Yeah.
like making sure that there was voices for all of the unheard things. Like there wasn't really an audience for that. So I don't think that it was something that was on the forefront of Rick's like thought, like while he was writing, like, oh, like, yeah, Percy has panic attacks. Let's, teach kids about it. And you like hey, this happens to Percy too. I know what happens to you.
Yeah, and also you can see it in the fact that like this was written in what 2012, 2013, 2012. Yeah, you can see that in the fact that like they throw the word schizophrenic around a lot and not necessarily in the proper context. I don't think. There are at least 3 places that I can think of that it is mentioned, mostly with Leo's point of view. Anyways, I don't know. I felt like the whole posturing teenage boy thing was. I have a brother, so it was very teenage boys. I worked with, and they would do the dumbest stuff, and then they'd be fine.
I definitely agree that like some of the stuff that like up. Like, yeah, no, but I think that like the fight between Percy and Jason, like I definitely think that needed to happen.
Yeah,
with the fact that they're both.
We wanted it to happen at least.
Teenagers, like I think that because that would happen. Like as much as like when it was happening, I was like, oh my god, I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. Like, yeah.
And it also wasn't entirely them because it was the Eidolons. But Kier, you had something you were gonna say.
But like. He's been a teenage boy for the last multiple years, and he's never really had that feeling around other guys. So it did just kind of come.
I don't think it has anything to do with other guys. I think it has to do with the fact that he's dealing with someone who's just as powerful as he is, because you'll notice he had the same issue with Talia in The Titan's Curse.
But that was more like butting heads. I don't think it was necessarily jealousy.
I don't know. I think that he and Thalia there was jealousy there.
There was mutual jealousy there.
Yeah, it was on both sides. I think that eventually they just respected each other, but...
Well, one of my favorite scenes in all of Percy Jackson happens in the end of when she gives up the prophecy for him. I'm literally getting shivers.
I hate The Titan's Curse.
I love it because it is Perkabeth AF, and even though there is none. Okay, so we just have. Okay, so can we talk about one of the most like hilarious characters to have come out of the series, and we really get to see him shine in this particular book, Coach Hedge.
I freaking love Coach Hedge.
He's a disaster and a half, but I love him. You what?
Oh no. I distaste him so much. He's a grown man.
Where is that?
He is the most ridiculous, and I like his character arc in the series, but there are just times like you can't, like half the time he's making me laugh because he's being an absolute idiot.
Yeah.
He's like in his middle-aged, which mind you, he's a satyr, which means he's twice as old as middle-aged. He's like 80-something years old and just runs around and says die all the time.
I mean, I know some middle-aged men that still do that.
I feel like there's a lot of middle-aged men out there that
they're out there getting sports cars and buying assault rifles, or getting pickup trucks and buying assault rifles. I did think of you, Kirsten, when he's asking Frank, like, don't you know this battle? And Frank's like, I'm Canadian. I was like, I feel like Kira appreciated that.
I'm Canadian.
So.
I enjoy even though Frank, other than a name, is not very Canadian, I do really appreciate it. Right in there, you know? He was like, I need a Latinx character, I need a black character, I need a native character, and I need a Canadian character.
Do you think we would have had a Canadian if they hadn't have been going to Alaska in the last book?
I
hope so.
I don't know. I just think that he was probably like, I should put a Canadian character in here because it makes no sense. Especially, it makes less sense for like they're in California. Do you know how close New York is to Canada? I literally drove there like 3 weeks ago. It's not that far. Why is there no Canadian demigods?
True facts. True facts. Maybe they're all Roman.
All Roman.
Um,
That seems
You guys,
Okay, that's funny. Okay, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is how we kind of, because, you know, I got to talk about my girl, Annabeth, who is amazing and is the boss and is an idiot, but also the boss. I like how we get everyone's kind of varying perceptions of Annabeth. One of my favorite moments that is not a Perkbeth related moment is actually the moment with Annabeth and Frank. Because I think that really shows her really well, where he comes in and he's like, I don't know what's going on. And I know basically, like, he trusts her not to laugh at him. And she does. I mean, she goes overboard, but she doesn't laugh at him. She's like, here, this is what we're dealing with. And I think that really, even though Percy kind of still thinks she's a know-it-all at times, like, I think that really showed how Ravenclaw she is, but how much she just, like, she doesn't fault you for not knowing things. She just explains. Like, if she's explaining, she's not making fun. She's just like, here's what you need to know. And I liked how we got to see, like, Leo and Piper and Percy's, all their different ideas of Annabeth.
I did feel like in other people's narrative, though, she came off as, like, more, like, aggressive and, like I feel like the scary blonde girl was, like, often used to characterize her, which is not at all how I see Annabeth.
I know, but also, it's Leo who was doing mostly the scary blonde girl characterization, so... Oh, we don't have a point of view.
Piper did a lot in The Lost Hero.
Maybe. Yeah, that's because she didn't know her. I think Annabeth is very intense. And so she comes off as kind of scary, but once you get to know her, and that's why I like having her point of view, once you get to know her, you kind of see, like, you know, Percy spent five and a half books thinking that his girlfriend is this know-it-all that kind of sometimes likes to lord it over people. It's just that she knows stuff and she likes to tell people things.
Yeah, I've always kind of seen Annabeth as more intense than scary.
Yeah,
like, she's kind of. I feel like she's kind of like the person who, like, far away, she's most likely got the resting, like,
bitch face.
Yep. I didn't know.
RBF.
Trying to hold on. The resting bitch face, and then, you know. But then, like, once you get to, like, talk to her, she's like, oh, hi, like, yeah, I'll share stuff with you. Like, let's be friends, blah, blah, blah.
Under my wing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think part of that is because we explore that a little bit in her point of view, because she talks about the fact that people don't take her seriously because she's a blonde. So I think that's part of it, is that it just depends on how comfortable she is with you. But, yes, I love her so much. She's such a good character. She reminds me of me, except she is 10 times more competent than me at everything. And she has a boyfriend.
So, you know, it's off the ranks.
I wouldn't want her boyfriend as much as I love Percy. He gets kidnapped and almost killed too often for my tastes.
I would be willing to take that.
Percy is, yeah. If he was Nico.
Kier, you went away.
I know, I can't get my computer to work because I've been trying to make my phone work and it keeps on freezing. But I said that if Percy was the correct age, I would date him, I think. And
if Percy was the correct age, I would fight all of you for him.
But my correct age for us, correct age for you, we'll have a battle somewhere in between.
But he is not the correct age, and so therefore he is just my son.
But, like, if you look canonically, he is.
Yeah, technically.
I was 93, but he must have turned 13 that year. So, canonically, he's born in 1992.
Canonically, he could date you two, but not me. That would still be a little creepy.
That's only, like, 4.5 years.
Anyway, I did the math. Like, he's like 9 years younger than I am.
What a Ravenclaw thing to say.
Especially if
What?
I want him to.
I did the math. What a Raven.
I was just curious because I'm sitting here going, wait, I'm crushing on a like 16-year-old. This is weird. Never mind. And so I stopped. But I was in my 20s at that time, so it was like I was like, oh wait, he's actually a kid. He reminds me a lot of Dick Grayson, and that is why I love him so much. But I would much rather be married to Dick Grayson.
Adult Dick Grayson.
Obviously, like Nightwing. Not the dorky kid that wears the short shorts.
What?
So, I love that we kind of discovered the Percy Jackson motto in this book because hold on, on page 171, I just saw this note and I want to talk about it because he goes, where are you? There we go. He goes, then again, back at Camp Half-Blood, they used to have their most serious discussions around the ping pong table in the rec room with crackers and Cheez Whiz. So Percy felt right at home. Like, basically, Percy's motto is weird is normal.
Yeah, that's a very good thing for him.
I love it. So, wait, what are those? I don't know. I have notes of 2 pages that I wanted to look up. I bet they're Perkabeth moments.
Okay.
Probably.
I will take that bet at 89%.
Oh, yep. Because here's one. When he'd been on the Roman side, this is a note that I put, but when he'd been on the Roman side, he kept himself alive almost solely by thinking of Annabeth. I missed you didn't really cover that. And I looked at I missed you and I was like, I know another 3-word phrase that does cover how you feel. I did. And then what was the other one? 223, I think, was probably something silly.
You drooling in your sleep?
Oh, no, 223 was the one I talked about, Annabeth and Frank, and her realizing that he trusted her not to laugh at him. Okay, speaking of people doing dumb things, we were talking about Annabeth. My child. At the end, like, she straight up goes into a supervillain monologue.
I know.
What?
With Arachne. When she's got Arachne, she gets Arachne trapped, and here comes her fatal flaw to bite her in the butt. She's got to explain everything and make Arachne really mad. Like, she's not stalling for time. She's like, I won. Annabeth.
No, I would be with her. You need to explain your plan. Like, I was like rooting for her. I was like really invested.
That's because you're a Slytherin.
Okay, but like, yeah, no, I kind of like. Yes, I think it's stupid, but at the same time, like, I feel like in that moment, I would be like,
Yeah,
and she's not.
Just the fact that she starts off with, "Oh, it won't happen right away."
I would have waited until backup came. I mean, we knew she needed to fall in the pit, so this had to happen. But I would have waited until backup came before I started bragging. Just maybe that's just a me thing.
Ravenclaw.
Well, I'm a Slytherclaw, so I do get the need to brag. I'm just like,
Are you?
Yeah, I'm a Huffleclaw or whatever. Raven Puff.
There's not a lot of like Huffle in you.
Huh?
I said there's not a lot of Hufflepuff in you, Margaret.
No, there's not much Hufflepuff in me at all. I am a Slytherin through and through if it's a secondary house because like I care about my core group of friends and then the rest of you can all die.
Okay. Unless they're romantic others in any single book.
So like yeah, I'm just like one of those people that like it's funny because I don't particularly like children as a whole, but I love my friends' kids because they're my friends' kids and so they're mine.
See, I actually just love everyone, even though I'm a Slytherin. That's my least Slytherin. My only Slytherin that does not work is the fact that you're supposed to be really, like, not liking people, and I just adore everyone.
I don't adore everyone. So I went back and forth for a while between whether or not I was a Slytherclaw or a Huffleclaw, and I just realized that there are people that I just dislike in general for being. I dislike stupid people too much to actually be anything Hufflepuff all that much. So, let's real quick.
Honesty.
I am.
Is that right?
I'm not even kidding. Once I realized that I was a Slytherin, like so much of what I do I was like, oh yeah, that's the Slytherin in me. Oh, I see that. And so now I can recognize it and mitigate it. But let's real quick talk about the really interesting split that we see happening with the Greek gods. I think it's most dramatic in this book because we have Athena versus Minerva because the Romans just absolutely destroyed Athena. And I'm mad about it.
I don't remember that. I didn't remember that from like reading it the first time.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I felt so bad for Annabeth when her mom basically disowns her. I was just like, but she's literally your best and brightest child, Athena. Literally.
And the only you super love. Like the only one that has a great relationship with their godly parent. Like not like great, but like
yes, Rachel, your kids are epic. Rachel is my friend. Sorry. She just commented on the chat.
Yes, I see it.
I have the best friends. So, anyways, you were saying something before my best friend distracted me.
What was I saying?
We were talking about Athena and her kids and how
I was saying that Annabeth particularly, out of I think most of the gods, most of the demigods from Camp Half-Blood has the best relationship, like ongoing relationship with her mother.
Yeah. Which is
like Poseidon and Percy are fairly good, and like favorite son thing, that sign also so emotional. But like he doesn't see Poseidon as much as I realized like when rereading it.
Yeah. I don't think she sees Athena all that much either.
But she has to revert to conversations she's had with her before in the Percy Jackson.
Yeah. Makes me emotional because Annabeth deserves a good mom, and Athena is not always great.
Like when you have a godly parent, you're not really gonna have a great parent, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, it is. It is really true. But like, I thought that was, speaking of kids that have relationships, Piper's relationship with Venus / Aphrodite was, I feel so bad for her.
Oh, it's so funny. So bad.
Particularly call that funny.
It's so bad. Oh.
I felt sorry for her every time she had, the only time I didn't feel sorry for her having to deal with Aphrodite was in the first book, because I really like what Aphrodite has to say about beauty and how like you understand better what being an Aphrodite child is about. So
every time I picture Piper and her mother talking, I always think of the song in The Lightning Thief, number 7, the campfire song with Selena talking about her mom.
Oh my God! I get to go see that next Thursday.
What? Why do national tours not come to Canada?
I'm so sorry. Maybe they'll open a show in Toronto. Yes, the bestie bought tickets for her and her husband, and it was like, hey, I'm going. Do you want to go? And I went and bought myself a ticket because it's Percy Jackson, and I always have money for Percy Jackson.
Yeah, that's
why I didn't go see any Broadway in New York, because I would rather see Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
I would rather see Broadway.
As a person who's seen it 3 times, I can't say the same.
Like, if I got to see Hamilton, I'd be pretty happy. I've seen, like, Wicked and Les Mis in Toronto, and they were both really good, but I'd like to saw them in Broadway. I'd see Phantom in Broadway.
Oh, I've heard that you can tell which country you're in by the speed at which that chandelier drops.
Ooh.
I heard it like just plummets in Australia.
I was supposed to see Phantom on Broadway when I was 16, except for I got a concussion the day before we were supposed to go on the road trip, so I didn't get.
Honestly, that sounds like a you thing to do. That really does sound like a you thing to do.
I've had like 10 concussions. Yep. And it was playing soccer. Yep.
I am not surprised at all. Okay, anyways, back to the parents. So it was interesting that Aphrodite/Venus is the one that was the least changed between all of them.
Because love is eternal.
Yeah, I didn't think that was surprising.
No, I don't think it was surprising, but it was one of those things that, like, I remember the first time reading it going, yeah, why didn't I think of that before?
Can I bring up someone who is even changed than Venus?
Who?
Who I want to secretly talk about and even wrote on my hand so that I didn't forget.
Wait, hold on. Let me guess. Is it Hades?
No. Hades isn't
No?
even
Okay.
here.
Okay. Go.
Hercules.
Here? Oh my
Minor
god.
god Hercules.
Okay, I love how Percy says that he is like the whatever it was of ancient Greece while using his Roman name.
He's the Starbucks.
The Starbucks of ancient Greece. And he calls him Hercules instead of Heracles.
But he's always
that's
called
funny.
Hercules.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's a great version of it because of the fact that throughout all of the Percy Jackson books he's called Hercules despite the fact that he should have been called Heracles.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that when he should actually be Hercules, he's totally okay with it. But I think that Hercules has such an absent yet important role on who Percy is as a person and just his development in the first series that I really love the fact that he was in this one.
Yeah. I think it would have been funny to see the guy he was named after, Perseus, come up. But
Yeah.
One Percy is enough, right? Do I say Kit Kat? I say Kit Kat.
Yeah. He's chewing on my.
Hey!
I don't know who you're talking to, but yeah, okay, yes, that's a good one. That was an interesting one. To point out, I haven't gotten. I'm like right before when Hercules happens. So.
And the Copia. I remember reading that word so many times and then listening to it so many times this time.
That's funny. I forgot that she gets that.
And it's just like, all the other people have great abilities. We're just going to give Piper a cornucopia that shoots random Thanksgiving out of it. Why, Rick? Why?
Funny!
It's funny. You have to understand, like, I feel like Rick does half of what he does purely for the puns, which is probably why I love him so much.
Oh, yeah.
Also, the damn joke at the beginning.
Ah, yes!
That is one of my favorite moments, just because I make that joke all the damn time.
I love the damn joke that happens when no one who understands. He says it and no one's got it. So he's purely doing it for his own amusement, and that's like 90% of my personality.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I love it so much. I saw a tweet a little like over a month ago now, but it just killed me. It was like, what will never last or something, what will always go on is the Percy Jackson fandom and their obsession with damn jokes.
Because it's one of those things that middle school kids love. What's happening?
I just dropped my phone.
You dropped yourself. It's one of those things like you could see middle school kids just running around using DAM instead of the cuss word and thinking they're absolutely hilarious for it, which is what makes it so freaking funny.
I did that.
See, I had to read this out loud because my mother is very conservative and didn't want me to read Percy Jackson. So because I'm dyslexic, I was like, I'm just going to read them out loud to you because then you can't complain because I'm working on like reading aloud. And I got to this book and I was reading it. And of course I changed it because you would be horrified if I ever said damn. And then I had to explain why it was funny because it didn't make sense.
It sounds like somebody got in trouble.
I didn't get in trouble. It was also the trip in which I read Percy Jackson. I was the Titan's Curse. I was like committed to it, so I read it during the car despite getting car sick, threw up, and then continued to read the Titan's Curse.
Wow. If I had been your mother, I would have given you an award.
What?
I said, if I had been your mother, I would have given you an award for, like, that dedication.
Like, I had to stop, clean up my puke from the car, and then continue.
Oh my god.
It was dedication. Yeah.
So
I'm a real person.
Oh, that is so funny. All right, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I have, the only other note I have is that Annabeth is braver than everyone. Because I was reading the part where literally her greatest fear is watching her over her shoulder, and I got chills. I'm like, we would have all died. Like, I'm not afraid of spiders, but if my greatest fear was the thing between me and things succeeding, yeah, bye world, we're dead.
Yeah.
I really liked the walk that Percy took Annabeth on to the entrance to the thing. I thought that was really cute.
I'm fine. I'm not fine. It was...
You love Percival.
Listen, there's no real romance.
You're frozen. See, here is just crying from your arms being held backwards.
I have no real romance in my life, so I purely rely on Percy and Annabeth to get me through it. Not really.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Just saying. Just saying.
I'm unfortunately into boys, and they apparently have higher standards than girls do.
Oh.
Depending on the guy.
The problem is the guys that have the standards that are like me are all taken. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, like, my thing is just I want to date someone who's a book nerd, which to most people respond is that's too picky, and I'm like, then I will be single.
Hey, that's the song I sing too. I need someone who's not only a book nerd, but is like a Christian book nerd who doesn't diss YA. Do you know how hard it is to find a boy who is a Christian, who is a book nerd, and doesn't diss to YA?
Do you know how hard it is to find just one of those things in a man? So, yeah, I can imagine.
I feel like it's much easier to find a boy who's a Christian.
No, guys, except for that they're also booktubers and they don't live near me.
Unfortunately for those of us that, yeah, okay, we're not getting into that. Anyways, okay, so
Like with booktube crush.
Yeah, with my booktube crush. Wait, we were on something before I got distracted by, okay, you were talking about the walk that they took. I'm so mad
Your
at
favorite book is what you said, and I said I really liked that.
Yeah, I was kind of mad I haven't gotten to that yet, but I want to do these properly, and that means
Finish the last book. Like, finish the book before the live show.
Stop. You're just asking too much now.
yeah.
I didn't do it for half the Percy Jackson books, but if I didn't do it for these books, like I wouldn't. I don't remember enough like plot points from these books to talk about them without reading them.
I just feel really bad that it's my favorite book and I didn't finish it. But that just it wasn't happening. So, like, I had a plan and then bye.
We
But that's
just
life.
told Jake that he can come even if he doesn't because we never finished the books either.
Well, as long as he's okay with spoilers. If he's okay with spoilers, he's fine. But anyways, Kenzie, did you have any other things that you want to talk about besides how awesome Percy is? Oh, he's so smart in this book, and I love him so much.
You should love him no matter what, even if he's not smart.
I love him when he is a dumb butt, and I love him when he is being clever, but I think he's more clever than people give him credit for, so I like to highlight that.
I only like clever.
Like, it's funny, and I think that's part of why Annabeth is attracted to him, is because it's not because he's dumb, it's because he's smart. And he's smart in a very different way that is than she is, but it's still in a way that complements.
Yeah.
Like he's a thinker, which is very attractive.
What? Yes, he is. I love. And he doesn't like breaking the rules, and I love him for that. Like, he does it all the time, but he hates it.
And he wants to just take her and live in a city where they can grow up and go to university.
Oh, yes. I love how they switch that. Because usually it would be the girl who's like thinking about the future and like, oh, we could raise kids here. And in this one, for the past 2 books, it's like, oh yeah, Percy wants to move to New Rome and start a family there. Like for the past 2 books, we've had that. And I love that that's switched up. And also, are you okay,
See,
Kim?
if he were aging at an age that is actually appropriate with the time that has gone by, he could have children already. He should be like 27.
I would die for those children.
Yeah.
Like
In theory.
17-year-old Percy with children.
Wait, what?
I said if we're going like canonically, like Percy Jackson should be like 27 now.
Mm-hmm.
So can we have 7-year-old Percy
I just
with
need
children?
a spin-off series of Percy and Annabeth's kids. Okay? That's all I'm asking.
And then being absolutely neurotic because their kids are going on quests and they're losing it. Like, Percy would be the worst quest dad ever.
I think that's quest dad, and I would love it.
He'd be like, do you have this? Do you have this? I gave you more drachmas. Here's your nectar. Don't forget your ambrosia. And Annabeth would be like, just let them go, honey. They're good. They're fine. I packed the bag. It's okay.
I feel like it would be opposite. I feel like Percy would just be like, go forth, go on an adventure, and Annabeth would be like, very meticulous.
Oh, I feel like she would be very meticulous, but I feel like she would have an easier time letting them go and letting them go on the quest. But Percy would be like just stressing the entire time they were gone.
Yeah, I think he would be very similar to like Sally. Like he would be very much like, I'm gonna drive you to go and have a quest. I'm going to worry about you a lot, but I'm going to like empower you to go off and be your own person.
But you do have to remember that she was super embarrassing in the Titan's Curse, making sure that he had everything.
Oh yeah, but like I think that he would be like, he would want his kids to go on quests because that was such a huge part of his childhood.
I think things change when you have kids and you start to think about what could happen to them. Like just with me, with my friends, not even my own children, but my friends' children.
Oh yeah, I understand that. Like I have like nephews that I love and adore.
So you
like, to go and have adventures and have fun, even though it's dangerous, because I enjoyed having that. And yes, I'm going to worry crazily about them.
Well, yes, but there's a difference between going and having adventures, like being like, oh, okay, you can go play out in the yard, or you can walk down the road, although none of them are old enough to do that, and going to, oh yeah, go ahead and go face the Hydra that can absolutely eat you and burn you alive. Like,
God, they have Annabeth and Percy's genes.
Which means that more monsters are going to find them.
Those kids are going to be invincible.
I mean, that could work.
How
really
much god blood? Like, because they'll only be legacies.
True facts.
You know what I mean? So I don't know how, like, legacies on the Greek side aren't really talked about.
No, they're not, because I don't think there are very many legacies on the Greek side.
Because everyone dies by legacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Side is like Les Mis. Spoiler.
Yeah.
There are so many things I want to talk about the Greek side and thoughts that I have, but I can't get to those until Blood of Olympus because they might spoil things.
Yeah, we have so many people watching
I've got some shade to throw on the Blood of Olympus.
Oh, there's a lot of shade to throw on the Blood of Olympus, and yet I still love it so much. It is not my third favorite book ever, though.
It has Leo and and Reyna all as point of views.
Oh yeah, Kira's gonna love this. Oh boy, Kira, we're gonna get into it.
Think about it. Like, I understand that the conclusion wasn't good. Like, I don't think that the book was very great, but I liked it better than a lot of the others, mostly just because Nico and also Reyna.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have some thoughts about that, but we'll get there because I don't want to spoil anything, and also I want Kira to wonder what we're gonna go at it about.
So tell me.
All right.
On live.
Nope. Nope. Because first off, I don't know that my opinion might change having reread it. So I don't want to tell you a false opinion. But
secretly hate me because I don't think we can be friends.
I do not see. I do not secretly hate you. I think you are wonderful.
No, Miko.
I think we would disagree on favorite characters, but that's okay. All right, so I believe we have an announcement to make, don't we?
Yay, announcement time.
Announcement time. We are going to be doing, so if you are part of the Demigods Anonymous crew, we have decided that we want to do a readathon in August. Does anyone want to tell them what the name of the readathon is?
1, 2, 3.
Questathon! All right, so hold on. Let me pull up my phone because I didn't write the dates down because they're on a calendar. So the Questathon is going to start on August 12th. It's a week-long readathon, and it is going to end on August 13th, which is Percy's birthday. And that is when our live show for
18th?
The 18th. I looked it up. I did.
You said 13th.
No, I used to think it was the 16th, but it's actually the 18th, and that's how I know that I'm right, because I was wrong first.
I always thought it was the 16th too, for some reason in my head. Probably because he's turning 16.
Annabeth's is the 12th. No, wait, or is that my friend's brother's birthday?
No,
I thought it was the 8th.
I'll look it up.
Kenzie's, I'm pretty sure it's the 12th, which would be really weird because
She's falling to Tartarus.
what?
And it takes like it happens while she's. It's like the 6th. It's the 6th, I think, because it happens when she's falling to Tartarus, and it takes 7 days to fall, and it happens on the 1st.
It's July.
Darn it!
Well,
Takes 14.
It's July 12th.
1993.
But I was just thinking about this earlier today because I have this conversation. Shouldn't their birthdays actually be in 1992 because it comes out in 2005 and they are 12, but both of them should be turning 13? Because it happens in June and they're born in July and August. So shouldn't they both be born in 1992? I've always said 1993, but
Well,
that doesn't make sense.
If you want Rick's official explanation, it's that they don't age like normal people, and they aren't, even though Percy was aging 1 year with each book, they're still 17 in his current universe, is what he says, which is disappointing. So, Alyssa, hi!
Oh yeah, because in Magnus Chase, like they make like references to like pop songs in 2017, and I'm sitting there being like, what? Because I don't know why he went from having 1 a year to having 5 books in like 8 months, and then having another 3 books in like 6 months. It's like books are so much more rewarding when they take over like 3 years.
Well, I think that he couldn't have done every year for Heroes of Olympus because all of his 16-year-old demigods would have aged out. So he had to kind of keep it within that year-long period. But I do agree, like the rest of it, that's sad. I do like when you age a year with everyone.
But it's weird because it's still middle grade, so they're already all too old to be middle grade anyways.
I feel like Heroes of Olympus is a really good crossover series, which is one of the reasons I like Percy Jackson, because it kind of does what Harry Potter does, just not in the same series where you have the beginning of it is younger, and then as you go through, you get them older. And so this isn't quite, could you come here? This isn't quite middle grade, but this isn't quite YA either. If you look at how, like, the different themes and stuff that are explored. Kier dropped her phone again.
It's like tween.
Yeah.
That's the category.
Okay, so we were talking about the readathon. We will have more details, but mark your calendars for August 12th through the 18th. The 18th will be our live show for Blood of Olympus. She's back. Is she back? All right, you're back?
Yep, with a different account and a different device.
It's okay. Everything's fine. It's all good.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, so mark your calendars for that. Do we have any closing remarks? The next book, by the way, is going to be House of Hades. That is our July book. I'm excited for it because it's my OTP being their bad butt selves. I love them so much. And it might be my favorite of all time. We'll see. I might change my opinion because I go back and forth.
Olympus.
Yike.
I'm joking.
All right. Do we have any closing thoughts besides, like, we know what I'm looking forward to in the next book. So any closing thoughts? Anything you're looking forward to for the next live show?
Nico and Jason.
Death and
That's such a good yes.
death and destruction.
The end of the world. Oh, also, the last Emperor of Rome.
Mm-hmm. End of the world happens in the last book, though. You're going to have to wait a little longer, Kenzie. All right, so.
Fine.
Yeah, fine. Thank you so much to everyone that was watching. I have everyone's channels linked down below. I will have videos linked at the end of the video at some point when I get end screens up. Thank you for everyone who joined in and came to see us. And you guys want to sign off too?
Goodbye. I no longer have a camera. But
All right. Yeah, I miss your face now. All right. Bye, guys.